Hey everyone, I'm making a gardening decision that I know I'm going to regret probably in about 3 to 4 weeks. But this is kind of the riskiest time for me in making bad gardening decisions because I feel like in the middle of winter, like after the garden season is over in the fall, I'm like ready to be cozy. It's dark at 4. I just want to cocoon. I'm not really thinking about doing anything garden related. Then I start seeds, and there's still a long period of time where I'm in the gardening mood, but can't do much outside. And that's when I make decisions like growing a zinnia and a cantaloupe indoors. So we still have probably 5 to 6 weeks before I would plant a zinnia or a cantaloupe outdoors. Now I started these in early February, so I have one zinnia here, one cantaloupe, 2 basil, which are still looking good in these size pots. But I started these for Me which that was filmed at the end of February. So I started these early February. So they've been growing now for over 2 months in these pots. And the cantaloupe and zinnia aren't happy. Now I told myself when I started these that I would be able to let them go at the end of the season because, well, one, I have more zinnia seeds already that I'm going to start, more than I can actually fit in my garden. And two, cantaloupe for me, I did grow it 1 year, 2 years? Maybe it was 2 years. And while I love cantaloupe, the plant takes up too much space for what it produces, which is usually 2 or 3 cantaloupes per plant. And I always seem to have some sort of pest issues or fungal issues with them. So I told myself I wasn't going to grow them this year, that I'd be able to get rid of these plants. But now I can't. So I'm gonna pot up zinnia and a cantaloupe in these terracotta pots, which are both 8 inches in diameter. I feel like the zinnia would be okay in this, like forever and long term. Definitely too small to grow a full-size cantaloupe plant. This isn't like a dwarf variety or anything like that. So I'm gonna pot them up because I can't bring myself to get rid of them. And again, I know when they get larger, maybe less with the zinnia, more with the cantaloupe, when they get larger, I'm going to regret this decision. But they're definitely not happy in these little containers anymore. I've never fertilized them since I started the seeds. They just need a little bit of TLC. So I'm gonna do that. And then we'll see if, well, one, I'm interested to see if the zinnia, I can get it to bloom inside under a grow light. I think I should be able to do that. The cantaloupe, now obviously there's no pollinators. Well, there's the occasional fly. Not really pollinators or wind in here, but I could hand pollinate if I wanted to. I feel like this is going to end up in the garden, even though I told myself I wasn't going to do it. It's going to go somewhere. So we're going to get them in these pots for now, keep them inside, see if I change my mind and do get rid of them at some point. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab my potting soil container. So I've shown this before, but I used a galvanized trash can to store potting soil inside, so I don't have like bags of it stacked around in the corners. I think it just looks a little bit better. Now there's less than I thought there was, but I do have some more bags that I just picked up. So I'm just going to take a pot and dump it in here and fill it with soil. So there's that one full. I am gonna add some biotone. I add biotone anytime I plant something in the garden. Now this, I'm just doing a little pinch because the pot isn't very large. Biotone is in that one. I am also going to apply a liquid fertilizer as well to both of these and the basil, again, because I haven't fertilized them at all. Typically, you want to start fertilizing with a more diluted dose once the seedlings get their first set of true leaves. We are way beyond that. In fact, I'm probably going to pinch this zinnia as well. But I'm going to use the Grow Big because this is what I use from Fox Farm. Again, I like the trio because it's meant for different time periods. This one I like for the green leafy growth, and then I'll switch to a bloom boosting one once they've flowered. So let's get the zinnia. Ooh, look at all of those roots. Let's get the zinnia out of here. See if I just tear this, I think is going to be the easiest since the roots are growing through the pot. Now this is a pot that I think is like advertised as you can plant it in the soil. Sometimes they break down, sometimes they don't. So I do try to remove as much as I can without like incredibly disturbing the roots. But also every time I've planted something and disturbed roots, they have been okay. I feel like plants are much more resilient than we give them credit for. So let's fill the rest of this with soil. I know these plants are going to be much happier with more space. Okay, there's the one. Now I'll do the cantaloupe, same process. Sprinkle in just a little bit of the biotone, and then it gets you out of this pot. Again, I would never grow a cantaloupe in an 8-inch pot. It's just not large enough for what the cantaloupe needs. So I don't know what the plan is going to be with this for long term, but this is what I'm doing for now. All right, now I'm going to water everything, including these 2 basil plants, which smell delicious, with the Grow Big Fox Farm fertilizer. Adding saucers, so that's one thing. Because I got these terracotta pots for out in the garden, I use them typically for my herb garden out there. I don't need saucers because they just drain onto and under the deck. But that means that when I use them inside, I have a lot more terracotta pots than I have terracotta saucers. But luckily I have these plastic ones, which I prefer plastic, glass, basically not terracotta, maybe if it's sealed inside, because I have a lot of wood. And if you have unsealed terracotta, like these pots are themselves, then it's still porous and the water can still go through, which I did not know when I first started. And I have definitely left marks from using terracotta saucers that weren't sealed. So now I just make sure that I do have something plastic or glass if I'm using wood. So I'm also going to give Fox Farm to the basil, which the basil is going to be fine in here, hopefully until I get them planted. I always plan to keep the basil and then use that in my garden, but I already have more seeds than I'm gonna be able to fit. But let's now figure out where these are gonna go, because, well, I think I can fit them under the grow light for now. So maybe that's where they'll hang out for now, and then I might move them either underneath my Soltec or have my Sansi grow lights. They're probably gonna have to get moved somewhere at some point as I have more seedling trays. So let me move these over and then I'll show you what they look like. Here's where the zinnia and the cantaloupe are going to stay for now. But once again, I start my 6-week round of seeds, all my zinnias, these are going to have to go somewhere else. But it's always funny going into decisions, doing things you know you're going to regret, and then yet you do them anyway. But I am excited to see at least if I can get some zinnia flowers super early. So that's everything for today. Just a quick little video of me needing to plant some plants. So hopefully I can get outside soon and then I will stop trying to grow things inside, but I'll keep you updated as far as how they do. I'm always interested to see how things go by spending more time inside versus outside. Anyway, I can kind of extend the garden season. I still have my hydrangeas that I've forced that I kind of move in and out if the temperature is warm enough. And when they're inside, they're underneath a grow light. Those seem to be doing fine. So I'll let you know how this goes. We'll see if my entire home is covered in a cantaloupe vine, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.